Okay, looks like we're back on. Dr. J making an attempt to figure out his technical difficulties. Well, that's not working. Try this. No, it's got to be lower. Okay, let's try there. Okay, you're seeing enough of me anyway. Too much of me is annoying. I have to admit that. So it is what it is. You see a little Dr. J. Hi all, I'm here. I watched the Met game, part of it at least yesterday, and when I fell asleep, I think they were winning something like 3-1, and it was wound up to be a blowout at 12-2, with Brandon Nimmo being the one ray of light that has been consistently shining over the last few weeks for the New York Mets. He looks like he might be the real thing. Leads off with an inside the Parker, hits one later on in the game, hits a legitimate home run. So Brandon Nimmo is showing power. Brandon Nimmo is showing verve, spark, elan. We like Brandon Nimmo at this point as Met fans. And the Yankees, I caught a piece of that game, and Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. What can you say? And there's another Aaron on the team, apparently, one by the name of Hicks, who's got a little pop in his bat. So the Yankees are just doing just fine. They won a game against the Nationals, and they lost a continuation game, I believe it was. So they kind of split yesterday. New York team's doing fine yesterday for a change. And what I really wanted to talk to you today isn't really sports. It isn't really baseball. It is a sport of sorts. It's called the game of chess. If you don't know how to move the pieces at all in chess, then the rest of this is probably not for you, as I'm going to show you a blitz game that I played using the King's Gambit. A blitz game is speed game, generally 3 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes on the clock, 10 minutes on the clock, something of that nature. And it's much different than a regular tournament game where you have something like 30 moves in 90 minutes. I used to play tournaments, and I really enjoyed it. And I was very competitive at that level. At the blitz level, I do it just to relax. Occasionally, I find a game that I'm sort of proud of or worth looking at. So that's what I want to do today with you, is just go over an aggressive style of play in chess. Particularly good for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10-minute chess called blitz. It's called the King's Gambit. Bobby Fischer was known to use it even in slow games. But pretty much in slow games, you don't see it anymore. In tournament games, not much anyway. So let me share a screen. I'll get right at it. Okay, let me get to the proper screen. I think it's up here. Okay, let me start from the beginning of the game. Jerry Morgan is me. One of my many aliases. Hide. Okay, so let's walk through the game. The starting position, as you're all aware, is rook, knight, bishop, queen, king, bishop, knight, rook. In speed chess, you want to get a little attack going as soon as possible. Very often willing to sacrifice a pawn or even a piece to get that attack going. Nothing better than the King's Gambit to accomplish that. So let's take a look at it move by move. First move is e4. So if you know algebraic notation, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and for the files, A, B, C, D. So it's E4 is my first move. And my opponent's first move, Alex from Russia, is Oh, by the way, we're using the app called chess.com. It's a phenomenal app. It's probably the most widely used chess playing app in the world, although I'm not sure. But I really like it, and I think that if you're going to play chess online, this is a place to play it. So I would recommend it strongly. So he also moves his king pawn up 2 boxes to e5. And the next move Dr. J makes is f4. f4, moving the pawn up 2 boxes, allowing capture for free this way. E takes f4. So if my opponent wishes, he can get a free pawn. That's called a gambit, when you offer a piece or a pawn for free in the opening. And he accepts the gambit. So now we're in a line called King's Gambit accepted. Next move that Dr. J makes is knight f3, protecting against the queen check. The queen could check otherwise, and it could get annoying. So knight f3 prevents that. And let's see what he does. Knight c6, just normal development. Bishop c4, attacking what? Attacking the f pawn, the black f pawn at f7, threatening bishop takes f7, check. Would I be willing to give away my bishop for a pawn? Let's see. Maybe. He plays bishop c5, Alex from Russia. He's getting good development. He's stopping me from castling. If you notice, the bishop is in the path of the castle, so the king cannot castle on the right side. But it's simply, a simple answer to that is pawn d4, and he cannot take knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop, because he'd be down a piece. So there's not enough for him to take that pawn. He has to go away with the bishop, probably back to b6. But let's see where he goes. Bishop b6 is where he does wind up. So far, seems like nothing out of the ordinary, but I think probably white should take this pawn at this point with the bishop, or just castle. I like the pawn, because bishop takes pawn. Now we're even. I got my pawn back, and I'm way ahead in development. So he's going to try to castle logically on this side with knight f6 next move, I would think. No, he wasted a move. He played d6. Now that allows for his bishop to get out and become active. So it's not a bad move. It also allows bishop to e6, stopping pawn takes bishop takes pawn at e7, at f7. So if he brings his bishop here, it stops my sacrifice. So let's see, do I sacrifice immediately, or do I castle? Castle. All right, so I'm allowing him to intercede the bishop if he wants. Let's see what he does. He develops a knight so that he can castle on the next move. So this is my last chance to sacrifice, correct? Because if I wait another move, he will be castled. So there's no point. If I'm going to cast, if I'm going to sacrifice, it's got to be now. And I go ahead and I make the sacrifice. Bishop takes on f7. Check. So that forces him to take with the king, or to move the king. He chooses to take my bishop, which is probably correct play. I have to continue being aggressive here. So I push pawn, and I have several ways to recapture when he takes bishop, pawn takes pawn. He must take pawn takes pawn, because if he moves the knight away, he's allowing for a pretty vicious attack with knight check here. So I would think he must take pawn takes pawn. Let's see what he does. Pawn takes pawn. And if I play pawn takes pawn, queen takes queen, ending my attack. So I cannot do that. I either take back with the knight, checking him, or the bishop. If I take back with the bishop, then knight takes bishop, knight takes knight check. I do get my check in. But I still take back with the knight. We're forcing an immediate check. Now knight takes knight is in line. And bishop takes knight. So now there's pressure on the knight at f6. We have the bishop bearing down, the rook bearing down. It's protected by a pawn and a queen. Let's see where my opponent goes. He's putting pressure on the bishop because rook takes bishop, pawn takes rook, queen takes queen. Well, I guess he can't do that immediately without losing material. But let's see what I do. Aha! I decide to take that doggone knight and remove some defenders from that king. So he takes back with the pawn, undoubtedly, allowing the queen check, right? Queen to h5 check, which I take. He plays king to g7 to get away from the check, which may or may not be his best. And let's see what Dr. J does at this point. There's no hurry to try to mate him. So Dr. J simply defends his pawn. Otherwise, his bishop takes check, or even worse, queen takes check. So Dr. J is being a little careful here. Again, no big hurry to mate him. He's doubling up on the E file, threatening queen E3 check, amongst other things. Dr. J has to develop the knight to A3 as opposed to D2 because otherwise the knight would be lost with the queen check. Now the rooks are connected, which makes Dr. J feel a little more powerful. He's up a piece, Alex from Russia, and he's up a piece, and all I have for it is one pawn. So I will not exchange queens. He's saying, come on, let's exchange queens. But that would not be wise for Dr. J to do that at this point. So I decline that by simply moving back a square. Probably the right play would have been for Alex from Russia to insist on that I change queens by moving queen to G4. Then I would have little opportunity to turn him down, but I probably would anyway. I would play queen back to F2 if he did that. Instead, he makes what I consider a weak move. He undoubles the rook-queen combination from the E file, pushing his rook to F8, which seems to me trying to be defensive, but not. He's trying to be defensive because otherwise Dr. J has queen takes a pawn at F6 check. But better would have been rook to E6, accomplishing the same thing, and still keeping the queen-rook combination. All right, let's see what's going on now. Dr. J can swing the other rook into action. attacking the queen. On guard, lady. So now Alex from Russia has to do something about the queen. Now he does the move I said he should have done earlier. Says, let's exchange queens. But it's too late because now Dr. J has a very powerful rook check. Rook from E1 to E7 check. And now Alex from Russia is in trouble. So Alex from Russia goes back. No, he moved up. If had he gone back, it would have been mate in 1 with queen takes H7. So he avoids mate in 1 by going up, but it's going to be mate in 2, so it doesn't accomplish much. Queen takes H7 check, and now there's only 1 square to go to, and he takes that square. That's G5, and now for the mate. Does everyone see the mate? I'll let you look for a minute. Mate in 1. Rook G7 checkmate. Now the king has nowhere to go. So it took 20 moves for Dr. J to win this particular game. The main mistake was the move Rook F8, allowing for Rook E1 hitting the queen and allowing for ultimately to check. So that was his main fatal blow. There were other mistakes along the way that Alex from Russia made. And Dr. J probably didn't play perfect either, but it is a blitz game. Dr. J had 7 minutes left, and Alex from Russia had 5 minutes left from an original 10. So this whole game took, 4 minutes from Alex and 3 minutes from Dr. J. Took about 7 minutes for Alex from Russia to lose in 20 moves. So now let me go back and go on camera just to say goodbye to you guys. Get back to the camera. All right, let's stop screen sharing. Where's my picture? Oh, there I am. Okay. So I hope the technical difficulties weren't too annoying. I hope the topic wasn't too boring for those of you who don't play chess very often. But for those of you who play a little bit, you might have found it somewhat entertaining. And for those of you who are much better chess players than me, please forgive me for my indulgence. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on a different topic. Every day there will be a different topic of interest. So I will try to be better about posting in Twitter what the topic of the day is going to be, so that you don't tune in if you're not interested in the topic. I think in the future, I'm going to have topics like charting stocks, talking about technicals and stocks, trying to get some interesting guests on to break it up so it's not just Dr. J talking. I know you love Dr. J, but Dr. J could use a little help. All right, take care, guys. Very nice seeing you again. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow or the next day. Bye-bye.